Today, I want to talk with you about a topic that impacts all INFJs. It's probably one of the most amazing secret superpowers that INFJs happen. And when INFJs can hack this superpower and really use it and show up in their lives using this superpower, then the most amazing, mind-blowing things can happen. Unfortunately, many INFJs, they shut this down. They don't listen. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the INFJ intuition. My wish is that all INFJs can learn to listen to their intuition, to understand what their intuition means and how it plays out in their lives. Because I believe that when INFJs listen to their intuition, then overall we can help make the world a better place. In this video, I'm going to share with you a little story from my own life about when I used intuition and then what happened to me when I shut down my intuition for years, when I stopped trusting it, when I decided to completely ignore it. I'm also going to be sharing with you what intuition is and explaining it more in a scientific way, as well as why some INFJs might not listen or trust their intuition, and then what happens when you can step out of that fear and actually live using your superpower. And then at the very end of this video, I'm going to be doing an exercise with you. Now, this is something that I do with my counseling clients. In case you didn't know, I'm an online counselor for INFJs, empaths, introverts, and neurodivergent people. And I use this exercise quite a lot with my clients, and I'm going to be running it through with you so that you can clearly hear your intuition. But first, I am so honored to share that today's video is sponsored by Ana Luisa Jewelry. This is the second time that I have partnered with Ana Luisa Jewelry, and when they reached out to me again, I was so excited because I absolutely love this company. Last year, they gave me 2 beautiful necklaces, and if you look at all of my videos over the past year, every week I am wearing one of their necklaces because I'm obsessed. I love their quality, I love their jewelry, and honestly, I would not accept a partnership with a brand if I wasn't into them. If I didn't like their stuff, you wouldn't be hearing me talking about it in this video. The 2 necklaces that I received last year, I have been wearing them on a daily basis, and I swear to you, they look as good as new. They look brand new because the quality is unmatched. They're tarnish free. I live in the subtropics of Australia. So I'm swimming every day, whether it's in a pool or the ocean. I'm in the hot, I'm in humidity, I'm sweating. I exercise with them on, I have showers with them on. I literally never take my necklaces off, and they have stood the test of time. So I'm absolutely thrilled that Ana Luisa has sponsored this video again. And once again, they have gifted me 2 beautiful pieces of jewelry. I chose the ocean gold charm necklace and the ocean earrings. And the reason why I chose them is actually related to the topic of this video. It's related to intuition. Now, when I wear jewelry, I like to wear jewelry that tells a story, that means something to me, that is symbolic to where I'm at in life. And these ocean jewelry pieces reminds me and helps me celebrate the fact that I am now living where I live. I grew up in Melbourne. I grew up in cold, grey Melbourne, and ever since I was a little girl, I had this longing and desire to live in a warmer climate and to live by the ocean where I could swim every day, because secretly I think I was a mermaid. I meant to be a mermaid. When I was 19, I came up to the area that I'm living in now, and I remember standing on the beach, and in my heart, I knew that one day I would live in this beautiful part of the world. And it was such a deep desire in my heart. I didn't actually move here until I was 32, and it took many years to get here, and it took me having to learn to listen to my intuition and to find the courage to actually do what my intuition was telling me to do. And so I'm so happy that I get to wear this ocean necklace that Ana Luisa has gifted me, and the earrings as well. They're stunning, and they remind me of how your dreams can unfold when you do listen to your intuition. I love Ana Luisa jewelry because it's crafted with the planet in mind. The brand is carbon neutral and climate neutral certified, offsetting 100% of their carbon footprint. For such quality, long-lasting pieces, they are so affordable. Some of the pieces start at $39 US, and they have a 2-year warranty, which I honestly don't think you'll even need. And if you see the link in my description, you can get your own piece today with up to 20% off. Okay, back to the topic of intuition. My story. When I was a kid, just like many INFJ kids, I was so intuitive. I would live by my intuition. I would pay attention to the small whispers in my heart. Of course, I thought that's what everybody did until I got a bit older and realized I was a little bit odd or a little bit different. And especially as a teenager and in my early 20s, it really was my intuition that led me to do some of the really amazing things that I got to do and meet the people that I got to meet. It was my intuition that led me to working in the homelessness community and working in youth corrections, and just meeting and having community with the homeless people of Melbourne through the work that I did. Unfortunately, in my early 20s, I joined a mega church. I don't know if I've shared this with you, but I used to be somebody who was really involved in church. And unfortunately, there were many events that happened. There were so many things that happened that led me to experiencing religious and spiritual trauma. And I was so hurt by the church. When I was 24 turning 25, I was having a bit of a quarter life crisis, and I chose to leave the church, which also meant leaving my community and leaving all of the people that I knew, and essentially letting go of the beliefs that I always held on to. When I left the church, I also felt like it meant I had to leave this intuitive side of me. I felt like the church took that part of me and I wasn't allowed to take it back, which is really sad because I was intuitive before I even got involved in church. My family aren't Christians. They were not part of the church. I found my way there on my own accord. And so when I left the church, I really did shut down my intuition. I shut down that gut feeling. I shut down the small whispers of my heart. Sure, over the years, there were moments when I could hear her speak to me, but essentially I was afraid. I was so afraid to listen to her because I was afraid of where it would take me, and I was afraid of getting hurt again in the way that the church hurt me. Honestly, it felt like I lost my left arm. I felt like I lost a huge part of who I was. I felt like I lost that empathetic part of me. I felt like I lost my soft heart and the way that I saw the world, where I wanted to do good, which is probably why I'm so passionate about providing a counselling space for INFJs, because I know what it's like to shut down such a core part of who you are. And I think it's so important that we accept that we are intuitive beings and that that's okay, and to listen to what that small voice is telling us. After I had my first baby, I was reflecting on what sort of mother I wanted to be. I was asking myself, who did I want to be for my daughter? How did I want to raise her? How did I want her to see me showing up in the world? And I knew that it was time to reclaim that core part of me. It was time to reclaim that intuitive nature that was so a part of me for most of my life. And so I began to ask and journal and writing in my journal, which at the time I hadn't journaled in years, by the way. But I asked, how can I find my intuition again? I miss her. Where is she? What is that small voice telling me to do? And that's how Paper Crane Fruit started. And that's how I got that intuitive idea to start leaving paper cranes in the community. Now, if it wasn't for that, if it wasn't for listening to that small nudge about folding a paper crane, as weird as that sounded at the time, if I didn't listen to my intuition about that, then we wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be here with you, talking with you, sharing my story and sharing all of the things that I've learned. I wouldn't be here as a counselor. I would still be working as a youth worker, which I loved, but I never felt like it was completely me. Whereas counseling is so me. It's what I was born to do. It led me to living where I am now in Australia, by the ocean. My ocean necklace, which I'm absolutely thrilled by this necklace. Yeah, I'm actually feel really touched by this because it feels so on par with where I'm at right now and all the things I've been reflecting on with Paper Crane of Hope and my business. And if it wasn't for learning to listen to my intuition again, I certainly wouldn't know you all. Now, what actually is intuition without all the woo-woo? Intuition is the ability to understand or know something instinctively without the need for conscious reasoning, which is why I think so many people struggle with intuition and why I think non-INFJs struggle with INFJs who follow their intuition. It often feels like a gut feeling or an immediate insight that arises quickly. Just like my paper crane idea, that just poof, came into my brain. It wasn't a thing I was pondering about for weeks on end. Intuition can be based on accumulated experiences, patterns, and knowledge, even if we aren't consciously aware of those influences. It plays a role in decision making, problem solving, and creativity, helping us navigate situations when we don't have all the facts. And trust me, people do not like that about us if they are not tapped in to our intuition, into their intuition. So how can all of this be scientifically explained for all the science nerds out there? By the way, when I was in high school, my very first trophy I ever won was for science. Scientifically, intuition is often explained through a combination of cognitive psychology and neuroscience. Here are some key points. 1, pattern recognition. Intuition arises from the brain's ability to recognize patterns based on past experiences. When faced with a new situation, the brain can then quickly, without us even realizing it, compare it to similar past situations, leading to an instinctive response. 2, now I struggle saying this word, but I might have to put it up here. Heuristics. These are mental shortcuts that allow for quick decision making. While heuristics can be effective, they can sometimes lead to biases or errors. And I think that's why sometimes it's scary for an INFJ to listen to their intuition, because we're human and we can get it wrong. 3, unconscious processing. Much of our cognitive processing occurs below the level of conscious awareness. The brain processes information rapidly and can generate insights without us being fully aware of the underlying reasoning. 4, emotional signals. Intuition is often linked to emotions, and that's certainly the case for me. It's a feeling, it's an emotional feeling I get when I know my intuition is speaking to me. Emotional responses can guide decision making, particularly in uncertain situations. The brain's limbic system plays a crucial role in these emotional responses. And 5, expertise development. Experts in a field often develop strong intuitive skills over time. Their extensive knowledge allows them to make quick, informed decisions based on subtle cues that novices might miss. And that's why I think even though intuition is a natural thing that INFJs have, it's still a skill that we need to practice and hone in on and strengthen over time, with time and wisdom. Okay, so how does all of this look for an INFJ, such as yourself and for me? For an INFJ, which I get so many people asking what's an INFJ, and I just assume that you all know, but it's one of the 16 personality types in Myers-Briggs personality type indicator. And if you read my disclaimer, you'll see, like, take this all with a grain of salt. There's so much nuance about it. I don't necessarily think like this is the be all end all. But I certainly know that when INFJs discover they're INFJs, it's really helpful for them. So intuition manifests in different ways for INFJs, such as deep insights. So we have strong ability to see the underlying patterns. So we're better at it to see these patterns and these connections in this really like complex situations, which freaks some people out. And we may intuitively grasp the emotions and motivations of others, often understanding unspoken feelings, which is why I think INFJs make great counselors. Two, we're future oriented. To our detriment sometimes, especially when we're in business and setting really big goals. But our intuition often focuses on possibilities and future outcomes. INFJs are typically drawn to envisioning how things could develop over time, which can help them make decisions aligned with our values. I keep like changing between there and our and my and you. Three is inner guidance. So we rely on our inner sense of right or wrong, which can then guide our choices that we make. And I know that every decision I've made in this business is by listening to my intuition. Empathy. INFJs can intuitively sense what other people's needs and emotions are. We all know that. It's this empathetic intuition that drives us to want to help others and to advocate for social causes, to make a difference in this world, which is why it is so important that INFJs use their intuition so that we really can make a difference, so that we can leave a positive impact on this world in whatever way it is, whether it's saving the turtles, whether it's picking up litter in the park, whether it's helping the elderly in your neighborhood by providing social connection for them. And intuition in INFJs looks like complex problem solving. We approach problems holistically, considering both the emotional and logical aspects. We try and use both. Our intuition can help us find creative solutions that other people, they might overlook it. They might not even consider it. Now, as I said before, some INFJs can really struggle in trusting their intuition, especially when it contradicts logic and what people are telling you to do. But it is a valuable tool in navigating our lives and our relationships. So why? Why do INFJs sometimes struggle to listen to their intuition? And please let me know in the comments. Are you somebody who pays attention to your intuition and follows through? Or are you somebody who is afraid and you struggle to hear it and you struggle to actually take action and do what it's telling you to do? I've listed some reasons on why I think an INFJ might struggle with their intuition, and please let me know what some of your struggles are. Add to the list. Let's have a conversation about this, because the more we know these struggles, the more we can overcome it and begin to actually step into our intuitive superpower and make changes, leave a positive impact on this world. I keep saying that, don't I? So some of the reasons I listed are fear of being wrong. I know that's why I shut down my intuition for a long time, because when I was younger, I felt like my intuition was leading me to this church, and it turned into, it was terrible. Okay, it's a long story. A lot of stuff happened. I guess in a way, like, I learned a lot. I met really beautiful people who I'm still friends with to this day, but it caused a lot of trauma for me that I had to heal from. And I was so afraid to listen to my intuition again in case I got hurt in such a big way again. Sometimes we struggle because what our intuition is telling us to do is so left-centered. It just does not make sense. There's no logical reasoning to it. Such as my paper crane story about folding a paper crane. Like, why? Why should I go out of my way to buy origami paper and learn to fold a paper crane? What's that gonna do? Well, it turns out it's led me here. We get afraid of being judged, especially when our intuition is telling us to do something that maybe our parents, our friends, our bosses, our community are telling us not to do because it's weird or just different. So we shut it down because we don't want to be judged. We want to be liked. We already struggle to fit in with everybody. We already feel misunderstood. So why would we want to stand out in an even bigger way? Sometimes it's because we haven't matured enough to actually know when our intuition is speaking, because that can take time and learning and getting to know that voice and that feeling, which is why the more we spend time with our intuition and spend time with that voice and do what our intuition is telling us to do, then we can learn what's our intuition and what isn't. The external pressure from other people. When we need to make decisions in our life, we can sometimes feel like our intuition is telling us to do one thing, but everybody else is giving us advice that we should do something else. And so we feel that pressure and the opinions of other people who, are well-meaning and want the best for us. That's why in my counseling appointments with clients, I would never tell you what to do with your life. I would never tell you quit your job or break up with somebody or go on a holiday or buy the car or whatever decisions you need to make. I would never tell you what to do, but I would ask you, what does your heart say? What is it that your heart wants? What's your intuition trying to tell you? Because everyone else's opinion, it doesn't matter. Sometimes it does, but most of the time not. And also I wrote down fear of vulnerability. I know my intuition has been telling me to be more myself with you, to be a bit more unscripted on these videos. But that requires vulnerability from me, and that's really scary. Okay, but this is what happens when we listen to our intuition. The unexpected. Pathways open up. We meet new people who are supposed to be in our life. That's how I met my husband. We can actually make a difference in this world when we listen to our intuition. We don't know where that pathway is going to open up, and we don't know what impact we can have on the world, but we can leave a positive impact on the world. And if we just listen to our intuition and took those small baby steps, you just never know whose life you could save. Opportunities come to us, new possibilities. We feel more inspired, we feel more in touch with ourselves. I said earlier that I felt like my left arm was chopped off. I felt so off when I wasn't allowing my intuition to be in the forefront of my life and my mind. But when you step into that intuition, it's empowering. You feel yourself, you feel good, you feel like anything is possible, that you could do or achieve anything that you set your mind on. Okay, we are now going to do a little exercise together, you and me, where you can begin to tap into your intuition and hear what they're trying to tell you, to hear that small voice, to hear what your next steps are. I just want you to close your eyes, place yourself in a comfortable position, whatever it is that is going to make you feel safe and comfortable. And I want you to take a couple of deep breaths and hear the music. Allow the music to just float through your body. Now, I want you to imagine yourself, you're walking through a forest, and it's a magical forest. In this place, you feel so safe, so at peace, and so yourself. You feel your body relax. feel any stress melting away now. Melting away. And allow your heart to be filled with love, with peace, with clarity. And as you're in this forest, you notice a person. They're off in the distance. I want you to begin walking to this person. And as you get closer, you see that that's you. That person looks like you. Whether it's your younger self, your present self, or an older version of you. And as you get closer to them, you understand now that that person is your intuition. And they look at you and they're smiling because they have a message for you. Imagine yourself holding the hands of this other version of you, of this intuitive part of you. And tell this intuitive part of you that you're ready to listen, that you're ready to hear what it is they have to say. What wise words do they have for you? What are your next steps? And when you're ready, I want you to open your eyes and come back to me. I just want to thank Ana Luisa Jewelry again for sponsoring this video. I'm so grateful for you and I hope that we can continue to work together. I would love for all of you to go and check them out and use the link in my description. Please let me know what pieces you choose, and also let me know how that intuition exercise was for you. Leave in the comments if you want to. I'm not going to make you. What your intuition told you to do. Thank you.